hope everyone's doing well. For the last couple days, I've been trying to melt down some aluminum. I have a large supply of scrap and really good high quality chips. However, I need ingots and they're rather expensive to get where I am. So I'm going to try pouring some. My first attempt at melting aluminum was using a stove that I had made a long time ago and tried to turn it up on its side, modify it, and so I'm going to switch to propane because one of the biggest issues was with wood and coal, I was getting ash and whatnot in the aluminum, which is probably not good if I'm trying to make engine parts. So I'm going to start this project off by taking this pile of stuff and turning it into a propane burner. So first off, I have this is going to be my nozzle. It's a proper propane nozzle, and I'm going to make a bushing out of this to either weld or mount in here with a set screw on it, so that way I can adjust the distance on this. I'd like to be able to play around with a couple different features because I'm not exactly certain on where everything should be. Got the piece chucked up in lathe, and I'm going to make up my bushing. Well, there's the bushing with the set screw. It's on there tight now. And I have the fittings for this side to go to the hose. Now I need to make this thread into this, or this thread into that. I went ahead and threaded all of the parts together, so the actual nozzle, valve, and the whole 9 yards on this end is pretty much done. So all I gotta do now is cut and set up this pipe to house that nozzle, and we should be good to go. I'm gonna cut this tube off at 10 inches. Now I could dig out the bandsaw or cut it off with a chop saw, but I'm gonna be lazy. Well, I don't know if lazy is the word, but anyways, I'm gonna use the angle grinder. Cut this off because I'm going to have to put it in the lathe and play with the ends anyways. Well, that's pretty much it for the assembly. I still got to clean up the other side. I got a nasty edge there, but I was having some trouble in the lathe, so I'll probably just throw that in the mill and take a nice cut off the end of it. But for all intents and purposes, this should work. Valve on, valve off, regulator, and an adjustable one. So I'm gonna hook this up and bring it outside because I'm not testing it inside, just in case. All hooked up, ready to go. I'm gonna switch over to the GoPro and see how it works. Well, I brought it inside so we can see the flame. Oh, I know this is low. That's full blast there. So I'm thinking that my issue is that got a nice burn, just not big enough. Although that might have some uses for other things. So I switched regulators. That's another barbecue regulator. And we get about a similar flame, so it's good to know that the other regulator works as a barbecue regulator, but I just don't think it's enough for this. I mean, it'd be good if you want to cook marshmallows or something, but not quite for what I'm doing. It's nice and warm on the hands, though. While I was shooting some of the earlier footage, my buddy called me up, and he asked me what I was up to. So, I let him know what I've been playing with the last couple days, and he tossed me this and this. So, I think my issue on the other little burner there is the regulator. I'm just not getting enough flow. Might have to add some more air holes, play around with it a little bit, but I think I can get that one working. If not, I can always just, go with that. This is probably the better option, but it might actually be bigger than I need. But, go big or go home, right? So, I switched the big regulator up. Got it tuned down about as low as it'll go. And that's about as good of a fire I can get. I think if I want a bigger flame, I'm going to have to open up the nozzle a little bit. I don't have any drills that small, so that's about as good as it's going to get for now. Alright, so I got some heat insulated bricks. Just in kind of a temporary setup here, just to see how well this works. With a little stainless crucible and some old aluminum chips in it. And I got a couple other pieces to melt down too. So I'm going to put a brick over the top here, and we're going to see how long this takes. So it's been about 5 minutes. I should have something else to grab that. The brick's probably hot right now. I'm going to see, try not to light this towel on fire, how we're doing here. Chips aren't melting yet, but we're getting pretty toasty looking. Alright, we're at the 10-minute mark. I cranked the regulator up a little bit to get a little bit more fire out of it. The room temperature's up about 10 degrees, which is nice. So I'm going to crank this down a little bit so I can get that out without burning my hands. Because I can't find my welding gloves. Now, I'm thinking, although this looks like it's starting to get toasty red, I should probably move that a bit farther away. Yeah, like that. Closer to the end of the blue flame, should be hotter theoretically. There's not really a cone, so I don't know if torch logic really works with this, but I mean, on the camera, it's starting to look like they're turning red hot, so shouldn't be long now. Alright, we're about 20 minutes in. The crucible's mostly red hot, except for down at the bottom. And we're starting to get some melting action. Alright, after about a half hour, we got molten aluminum. Take all this crap off the top. All that stuff on top's no good. It's all the oxides and stuff. Well, I got about as much as I can put in there without getting all this crap off. without overflowing. Get the last of the slag off the top here would be good. Let it, there we go. As you can see, it's nice and flowing. So now I'm gonna tune this back so I can start it easier. And we're gonna shut this off, and I'm gonna let it cool off inside the forge, or whatever you want to call this contraption. And that way it'll solidify a little bit more reasonable and a little bit more evenly. Alright, looks like we got a successful melt. Now I didn't have to pour it because I wanted it just to be this shape. Gotta let it cool for a while, but I have plans for the future. I'm going to try out the big torch and try out this crucible. I don't know if it'll work in this setup, or I get some more bricks and make something a little more permanent. Not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet. Gonna play it by ear. Got a couple more regulators to play with too, so we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm gonna leave it at that. And if you liked, click the like button. If you liked it and you want to see more, click subscribe, and I'll be back with more. Thanks for watching.